Hi Scorpio, happy birthday. Welcome to my channel. I'm your cosmic auntie, the interstellar storyteller, and this is going to be your monthly reading. I am recording this for November, but it could find you at any time and be relevant to you at any time. Tarot works in its own mysterious ways, so whenever it does find you, I'm just happy you're here. Please stay if you feel called to. Yeah, I'm really happy to be chatting with you right now. I always love spending time with you, Scorpio. Yeah, and if you are finding it at your birthday time, I hope that your birthday, if you've had it, has been wonderful. And if it's still coming up, I hope it's just filled with so many blessings, okay? And I wish you all just the most beautiful blessings this next turn around the sun, okay? And beyond, of course. So let's jump right in. I'm going to introduce my tools and then we'll get into the reading. The deck, the tarot deck that I'm going to be using for the month of November is the first tarot deck that I ever chose for myself. It's called the Golden Tarot. It is the deck that I initially learned on, and I'm really excited to be sharing it with you this month. And then I'm going to be using Old Trusty, that's what I call this deck, the Lightworker Oracle. And then for something a little bit different, I'm going to be using the Path of the Soul Destiny cards. I don't have the box anymore, but that's what the cover of the box looked like. And they're beautiful fractal images. I'm going to be asking for your participation. I'm going to hold up the card and I invite you into feeling into the image. And if you feel called to, please let me know what you experience, what you see, what you feel, and what you sense when it comes to these fractal images. And yeah, leave me a comment below so I can hear from you, okay? All right, let's jump in. Scorpio. So the image that I received for you this month, Scorpio, was this like beautiful bird's eye view of this deep, dark lake, and there was this orange like water snake just gliding along the surface. And you know, the first thing I felt is this sense of deep mystery with that deep lake, which is a part of your archetype. And then the feeling of transformation, the feeling of rebirth, which is another part of your archetype. And it is a, you know, symbolism of the snake with its, you know, shedding and yeah, transformation. It's mystery. It's you know, it's kind of psychic powers and its connection with life force energy. You know, we have I don't know if you're familiar with Kundalini yoga, but the base chakras is where the coiled snake resides, and by working the spine, the energy moves up and down the spine and through the chakras, initially strengthening our life force energy. So Scorpio, I feel like a notion of rebirth, massive transformation, which usually comes with a sense, you know, with completing something, a chapter or chapters ending in some way. And so let's see what's coming up, okay? What's coming up with Scorpio? So we got the Six of Cups and the Six of Swords. And then the 3 at the bottom of the deck. There's a feeling of like, okay, you know, moving on from challenging times, heartbreaking times, painful experiences. I don't know if some of you are experiencing relationship breakdowns in some way. Anything that hurts your heart. That's the three of Swords. Anything that hurts your heart. It's things that have happened already. This could be, you know, last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago, who knows, but whatever it is, it's painful. And there's a feeling of, you know, readiness to move on and a readiness to explore more whimsy and wonderment in life. You know, this could be places where the inner child has been, you know, hurt, and this could also be places where, you know, your past self has been hurt. And connecting to that, connecting to those versions of you, those chapters of you, and, you know, showing up in love and in nurturing to those places. And that is a sense of, there's a major sense of healing, and this, from that space, there's this readiness to, you know, move on and clear your mind and have more mental space for things that bring joy, things that bring happiness, you know, creating a sense of flow. Actually, I'm going to keep these ones on the board here. So this is what the cards look like. This is called a pip deck. So only the major arcana are illustrated with pictures. So Six of Swords is all about moving on. Maybe some of you are, you know, traveling to places you've always wanted to see. Maybe some of you have moved to places you've always wanted to move. You know, others of you may just be ready to mentally move on from these places and have done that deep healing, you know, going back to that deep lake, the deep dark lake that Snake is able to dive back down, but it was gliding along the surface and having a grand old time. So there's a sense of, yeah, you know, coming up from that deep, dark place, showing up to your past versions of yourself that have been hurt, that have been, you know, sad and have experienced pain. And there's a sense of understanding with that, like being able to understand your pain, you know, as to why that felt hard and why that hurt you. And there's a sense of freedom with that, like just being able to articulate and understand and understand that pain, and rising up to the top and gliding along the surface, and, you know, shedding and growing. And, you know, because with a snake, it becomes too big for its skin and it needs to shed, it needs to come out, and so that it can fulfill, you know, its potential in that chapter. And I sense there's a lot of like joy and travel and curiosity and just like a clearer mind in a way. Yeah, there's a lot of effort that's been put into this, the Nine of Wands. A lot of action, a lot of fierceness. So like, I just really sense this scorpionic nature kind of reflected back onto yourself, to, you know, because you are a powerful healer. You're very deep, very powerful, very insightful, Scorpio. And I sense that there's this, you know, turning into yourself is very inward, as well as very outward, but it's starting with very inward, deep diving into those places that have been rattling around, that are around, you know, that have been airtight, you know, things that have hurt. And there's a sense, again, of great freedom that is being experienced due to looking at those places and finding those answers within yourself as to why that hurt, and like you know, validating yourself. Interesting. There's a certain like peace being made with this, and it's not to say like, you know, it's hard to say, like there's a certain peace with it, like peace with the fact that it happened, period. Not to make excuses for what happened. There's none of that anymore. There's just like reality. There's awareness, and there's an element of knowing that it's over, and that healing moving forward is within the, you know, your control. So what else is coming up for Scorpio? The Knight of Swords. There really is like a notion of bringing your powerful mind to places that have, again, been caused pain, the places that you've been hurt in the past. And really showing up for that work with the Nine of Wands. There's a lot of action taken into those places, and a lot of stamina when it comes to that. And there's this notion of, yeah, closing up a chapter. The 9 is that very end. It is essentially the end, and then the 10 is the 1 again. But the 10s usually come with an invitation of what's going with you and what's not going with you. And I feel like there is, again, that notion of rebirth. There's, you know, a skin that is too small for you to fit into anymore, and it's the, you know, the shedding has occurred. Now the snake, like, sometimes the snakes, like, snakes have a hard time shedding. It takes great effort. They have to prepare. They usually kind of retreat. They go into safe spaces, and they, you know, oftentimes, if I'm remembering correctly, they don't eat very much. There's some sort of like fasting involved with some snakes. They might eat a lot before, and they turn in, and they kind of find safe spaces and then essentially shed. But it's a process. It's a process, and it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of action. It takes a lot of, you know, holding space as well. They have to hold their space. They have to go into safe spaces in order to do this. And so I really feel this in your energy, that it's taken a lot of action to shed these past chapters, but they are shed, Scorpio. They are being shed. They have been shed. I don't know where you are in this timeline, if this resonates with you, but there's a lot of insight, and there's a lot of truth and awareness and expression coming forward in your reading with the Knight of Swords that has just come out, kind of pointing up to the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is literally moving on. It can be moving and moving on, clearing the mind, moving on from difficult times, traveling, going to places that spark that creativity or that curiosity, and, you know, having more air to breathe. With the Knight of Swords too, like the Knight of Swords is that powerful mind agent. When they are used, you know, in a productive way, they are going to get to the bottom of things. They are going to cut through those cobwebs and get to the space they need to get to in order to bring the mind, bring that logic into that space. That's where I'm sensing these words, these feelings into words that you're able to, you know, use to be able to, like, label that pain, label those places, and that in itself is freeing, and that in itself is assisting in the shed. Five of Pentacles. So interesting, Scorpio. You know, these things could have been due to environmental changes, to things that have been challenging in your physical environment, when it comes to work, when it comes to home, anything that, you know, is in your environment. That may be a trigger to all of this too, or it was a trigger to all of this. And again, being able to bring the power of your mind to assist in finding the language to articulate the pain, and when we're able to articulate the pain, or when we're able to label that pain, and all the nuances and layers of that pain, which is a process again, the power is taken away from it more, and the awareness becomes stronger in regards to yourself and yourself within life. So there may have been some environmental triggers that have really been a catalyst to this deep diving, to this kind of past self, inner child spaces that have been hurt in the past. And I sense there's been a lot that has come up for you, but again, I feel like that has been worked on, that is being worked on. You're in the shed, and now I sense with the snake gliding along the surface here, like knowing the depth beneath them, able to go down into the depth and navigate that, and come back up to glide along the surface, utilizing its new speed and its new size, getting to know its environment, and feeling connected to its environment, because times are tough right now, times are weird, and yeah, there's big tower moments, big tower moments that cause destruction, that cause chaos. And again, I sense that these are the things in the past, like, that have been catalysts to this deep dive. And the dive has gone so deep into the chapters that have come to be already, to clear the way, to clear the pathways, to allow this Six of Cups, this wonderment, this enchantment, this whimsy to take place again. And there may be real, like, things that have been discovered from your past selves that have brought a lot of meaning and a lot of joy and a lot of passion into life during this challenging time. And that, I sense, has been so healing, and that has also assisted in this shed. Navigating this change, and whoa. Yeah, navigating this change and transformation, right? The tower is transformation. It's, sometimes swift, it's sometimes chaotic, but it often can be quite necessary for, rebuilding in a stronger way. Change brings the opportunity for growth. And the Emperor just came out. So when it comes to building the life that you enjoy living, I sense that there's been an awareness of needing to go within to heal and address some of this pain, to understand it, to articulate it, in order to transmute it. And there's been triggers in the environment that you exist in. There's been changes to, things that's shaken up the foundation that have been the catalyst for this deep dive. Now, what I sense is the Six of Cups and Six of Swords. This whimsy, this wonder, and the essence of transformation really starting to feel okay, that transformation, and being able to look at that shedding, look at that skin on the ground and be like, that's where I once was. And now being able to experience the new size, the new length, and the new, you know, agility and speed, right? Scorpio, you are also represented by the Phoenix, which is again another orange energy, being burnt to a crisp and rising again. And I just did this amazing reading yesterday where they were like, yeah, not all the ashes go into that rebuilding. And that's very much true with the Tower, right? As well. That's Phoenix energies as well. Is that some of the ashes weren't yours to begin with. Some of the ashes that are, you know, outdated, things that have no place coming where you're going. So I found that to be such a cool insight, and I'd love to share that with you, right? Because we just are constantly shedding, being, and becoming. And so right now with these two sixes are this card of, yeah, a card of victory, a card of like balance, okay? And the Six of Cups is your inner child giving you a gift, your inner past versions of yourself. The times it's nostalgic in ways, it can be very going back to places where you felt that sense of wonder, where you sense that flow, that bliss. And the Six of Swords is again traveling, mental, like more mental peace and clarity and spaciousness to explore the things that, you know, bring you joy, to explore the things that are, you know, coming up, you know, in forms of curiosity for you. And the Emperor is, yeah, like what, building the life that you are wanting to live moment to moment. And, you know, also thinking about, yeah, your stability, your family, if you have one, your friends, community, your space, your, I'll show you the card. It's a cool Emperor card. You know, with those two pillars, finding this, again, balance, this stability in self. And the Emperor too is a Mars card, which is your other ruling planet. So Mars and Pluto are rulers to your archetype. So there's a sense of, yeah, you're a warrior nature, fiery, you know, you're kind of a fire water sign, which is kind of cool when it comes to that orange snake. This is very much, I just feel this reading is just so deeply connected to your archetype, and they usually are, but this is very much like, I feel like there's just this power and this rebirth and this like fulfillment and fruition and expression and like this path unfolding. And like, again, I keep seeing that like skin, looking back at that skin and being like, that's where I was, and feeling a sense of success and, you know, really witnessing that effort there. Is way too many. Half the deck came out, but the ones that were overturned were the 10 and the 10 of Wands and the Temperance. So now we have this progression of the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Wands, and Temperance is about alchemy, alchemizing that past, the present, and the future into the core of you and finding the truth of the moment, the truth of you. And the 10 is, again, a completion. So there's things that, this healing, there's leveling up here. There's like upgrades. We've got 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Health, wealth, stability, abundance. There's so many exciting things here. And I just commend you for doing those deep dives. I commend you for taking that action towards shedding. And witnessing your growth and feeling the tightness of that skin as you grow and expand, and going within and retreating within to shed that which is not coming with you. And the things that have been shed are specifically areas that have caused pain, and showing yourself understanding, love, and support in regards to what you discover as you explore that pain, and, you know, coming out with words and ideas and perspectives and insights in regards to what you learned there, and feeling yourself more. I sense that there's an element of trust as well, because things have been shaken up. Tower, 5 of Pentacles. You know, these can be job changes, housing changes, everything. There is so much changing in the world, and it can be very, very destabilizing. And that, I sense, has been the catalyst to go within, to access that power of yours, clear the way for a sense of childlike wonder, you know, again, to rise up and take action towards that which is bringing a lot of joy. And really incorporating that into the way that you are building your life and your world. And you may be in a state of rebuilding, right? Like, again, rebirth, rebuilding, and alchemizing. Your energy, having this patience, having this stamina with what it is that you've been doing. There's patience with this difficult energy. There's been patience, even though it's been uncomfortable, going into those places. So I feel like this reading is very much about, yeah, witnessing you in the ways that you have shed, and celebrating you as this swift water snake that has outgrown its skin and is filling out its environment. It's feeling comfortable in its environment again. It's, you know, flowing with its, you know, flowing within its element. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And with the 6 of Swords too, there's this like energy of really being open to exploring and being open to focusing more on joy, because things have been very, very hard. Things have been very challenging. But I feel like those chapters have come to an end, and now again feeling this like freshness and this witnessing of how far you've come, and feeling that sense of power of yours again. So well done. I know that it probably wasn't easy, and inner work is a practice, right? It's not a destination, but I sense there's major clearing. There's probably things that have happened in your environment, and there's emotional responses to them that, you know, you brought your awareness to be like, whoa, what is that? And explored that. And through that practice and through that process, there's this transformation. And things feel lighter. Things feel lighter in this energy. Moving forward. And Temperance has been coming out a lot because they're the alchemists. They have this kind of, again, a curiosity, a patience, a wisdom when it comes to amalgamating like the past and the present and finding the truth of the moment, and exploring that. And also the core truth of you, the fact that you were connected to life, you were always safe and loved and protected, and you're important to the fabric of existence. You know, Scorpio, there may be a notion of, like, I feel like, again, I got pulled back into that snake, kind of retreating and recoiling into like a little safe rock space. And maybe there's a notion of you feeling ready to kind of step out again, right? You've shed, so now you're shiny, fresh, and new. All right, what's coming up for Scorpio this month? All right, we've got spiritual decree. You have been wondering what will happen next in your life, not realizing how much power you have to decide that for yourself. What do you wish to have to happen next? Are you willing to use your divine birthrights of free will, voice, and empowerment to set the cosmic wheels in motion? If your answer is yes, then it is time to speak your truth to the universe. Decree it, and you shall be it. So yeah, you may be coming out of this space being like, oh my gosh, what now? What next? And having more spaciousness to explore what is important to you, what is, intriguing to you, what is exciting to you, and like maybe just like not knowing exactly what to do next. And that's okay, like that's where temperance comes in, and being patient with yourself and curious about yourself, and alchemizing the space that you find yourself in, like again, past and present, and where that is leading to in the future, and what kind of life it is that you want to continue to build for yourself after major transformation, and now to kind of flex those gifts, that learning, that growth. So take your time and rest. Like there's no need to really like force yourself to figure it out right now. It's just experiencing, right? That water snake is not going anywhere in particular. I didn't see any land or like anything else in the view. It was gliding. It was just gliding, baby. So glide and enjoy the other side of the transformation, and take a deep breath and decree it, and you shall be it. When when you feel it, when you feel a direction, and even if it's just like feeling more peace in life, decree it. Okay, let's see what's coming up with the fractal images. Oh, okay, so I'm going to show you this fractal image, and I invite you to feel into what comes up for you. And if you'd like to share it in the comments, please do. So this is your fractal image, Scorpio. How beautiful. There's such a purity, such a beautiful, like angelic energy as well. Like you are safe and you're loved and you're protected. Like I do feel like you've been through the ringer a few times, and that has really shaking you up, and through that shake up you've really accessed the core strength of yourself, the truth of you, and gone deep diving into those places to find what is important to know about that pain, and have shown yourself love towards that, to understand why that hurt, and that has given you wings. So it's over now, and if it's something you're still navigating, it won't last forever, and it's okay to let joy find you even when it's challenging. And through that joy, discoveries are made of what is important to you and what excites you, and you're allowed to move closer to those things. You're allowed to naturally flow towards those things. And again, the snake takes a lot of effort and action and energy to shed its skin, and then when it does, it feels good. It's ready to zoom or slide around and do its snaky things. And I really keep seeing, like, turning around and looking at that skin and being like, okay, that's where I was and this is where I am now. So what do you see? Please feel free to pause the video and feel into it, and please leave me a comment below on what kind of sensations you're experiencing. Again, happy birthday. You're awesome, Scorpio, and I love you.